Good afternoon. We're going to start the events this afternoon by singing two songs. The first is, they're both in the program. The first is on the back, My Country 'Tis of Thee. And then after that, we're going to sing Honor the Blue and Gold, the Webb School song. So please rise. Let's sing. And now the school song, Honor the Blue and Gold. You guys ready for that? Let's do this. Please have a seat. Give it up for the seniors, class of 2023. All right. And welcome to the 101st Commencement exercises of Webb School of California. It is at this ceremony that the school confers its highest honor, a Webb School of California diploma. Today, here on Alamo Lawn, in the heart of the school, we gather to bring these senior school days to an end. We do so with a mixture of heavy hearts on one hand and joy and excitement on the other. We are so proud of you and all that you have accomplished, but we also know that you didn't accomplish these milestones alone. I would like to acknowledge three key groups of people who contribute much to our school's success and to the success of the class of 2023. First, I would like to reflect upon the quality of person and performance that characterizes our entire faculty and staff and ask you to join me in thanking them. Every one of our educators fills multiple roles that call upon them to develop and demonstrate incredible scope, depth, and flexibility of expertise. Although they are smart, passionate, and committed people, they work hard at that. They do so as individuals, but mostly they do so as a team. Boarding schools are by their nature intense places. They run on affect and relationship, especially that of the adults within the school. The nature of those relationships has a greater influence on the character and quality of the school's culture and on student accomplishment than any other single factor. We all know when we are truly cared for, and when we can feel that care, it inspires us to do our very best. I'd like to ask the faculty and staff to please rise for our appreciation. Second, I wish to recognize the families of our graduates. Parents, I want to thank you for entrusting your sons to us and for being an important part of our Webb family and for inviting us into your family. I thank you for your support given in so many ways, for your countless hours of volunteer work, for the many sacrifices and contributions you have made, and for your commitment to the mission and principles of Webb School of California. I thank you personally and on the school's behalf as well. Will the parents and the grandparents of our graduates please stand for our appreciation? And finally, I would like us to thank the men and women of our Board of Trustees for their exemplary service and leadership, for securing the school's ability to carry out its mission, and for their passionate commitment to that mission. It's an honor to serve the Webb Schools on behalf of these distinguished men and women who work so hard for this school. I'd like to ask the members of the Board of Trustees, the Life Trustees, and the Honorary Trustees to please rise for our recognition. Thank you. Okay, and now for our graduation speaker. All right, my mother, who passed away at the age of 90 in 2015, was an excellent judge of character. We talk about not judging in today's world, and I believe that. Well, my mother was from a different generation, and as such, she was a judger to the nth degree. In fact, that was one of her many gifts, summing up people within minutes, if not seconds, of meeting them. When our graduation speaker, Jim Drasdo, first met my parents down in San Diego in the mid-1990s, my mother talked to him for a few minutes, made him a cool refreshment, and then nodded to me a nod that only a son can read in his mother. And her nod said, "Yes, I like this guy. I approve." Believe me, not many people got the approving nod from my mom. And I knew at that moment that my gut sense of this guy was right. He was the real deal, smart, intuitive, witty, and he was deeply caring. Later that year, he came to campus for a meeting with me on our first campaign back in the mid-1990s. While he sat in the lobby, he saw a student who was distraught over losing his backpack. As we made our way through the meeting a little later in the day, I could sense something wasn't quite right, and I asked him what was going on. He said that, he related to me what he saw in the lobby. And he said he just hoped that the student found his backpack and that he could relate to a 14-year-old boy just trying to find his way here. We went out and helped look for the backpack, and we discovered it, so that was great. But it told me so much about Jim. And the reason I'm telling you these snippets is because I want you to know this man as well. Amid all of his accomplishments, of which there are more than I could mention in my introduction, there is this person with a heart the size of the Grand Canyon. From a professional standpoint, after graduating from Webb in 1963 and Grinnell College in 1967, Mr. Drasdo spent most of his career at the Capital Group, a global investment management company. At the time Jim joined the company, Capital had assets under management of around $2 billion. And when he retired in 2013, it was managing well over $2 trillion. Capital's outstanding growth came about largely because of the outstanding results it achieved for its clients, and Mr. Drasdo's investment record was consistently the very best. And at the same time, Mr. Drasdo has led Webb's equally astounding endowment growth for the past 30 years. In the mid-1990s, he chaired Webb's first major capital campaign, Building Character, and in doing so, helped envision and then fund Webb's original digital infrastructure, Webby, which we still use today. Soon after, he inspired an alumnus and his former USC professor, Gil Babcock, to join him in establishing the Lesson Barbara Perry Faculty Enrichment Fund. Each year, the Perry Awards are presented to deserving faculty members who embody the legacies of Barbara and Les Perry. Jim has consistently been there for Webb. Throughout his tenure as board member, he was the first person to really identify Webb as needing to make these strong partnerships with the Claremont colleges, and we have. And then during the pandemic, he led the Heroes Challenge and made a substantial gift to ensure the school would continue to thrive in the most challenging of times. His giving continues and secures Webb's future. Jim embodies the very best of Webb. He has not only been immensely generous to the school and cares deeply for the students and for the school's success, he has also provided, for me, insightful vision to the big picture of what will constitute a relevant, dynamic, engaging education in the future. He has a unique gift for identifying macro trends and seeing into the future. Building Webby before the internet really even existed is a good example of his foresight and is one of the reasons he was one of the very top investors in the world. Jim, as you take this podium this afternoon, please know that I would want no one else to be with me in these final moments on Alamo Lawn than you. You are and always will be a dear friend, and you embody the very best of this place. Thomson Webb would be mighty proud, and I am too. Please join me in welcoming Webb School of California's 101st graduation speaker, Mr. Jim Drasdo.
Good news, it's short. I'm sorry to do this, but I have to be able to look at that. I'd like to begin by congratulating you, the class of 2023. You've been through a lot. You've learned resilience. You've ascended the Grand Canyon. You've earned the right to a bright future. Now, I was here graduating 60 years ago. There were a lot of awards that day, but not for me. In fact, if there had been an award for least likely to be commencement speaker in 60 years, I probably would have been the guy. But as it turns out, I've had a fair bit of success in my life, and I attribute a lot of it to the foundation I got here at Webb. I think I learned a thing or two in the classroom, but what I think I came away with most, and I think will be true for you, is an appreciation for the importance of honor. Webb and the Honor Code have been inextricably intertwined since the beginning, for 100 years. And to me, the Honor Code basically says, trust matters. Trust has been important in my life, my professional life. For most financial firms, it's all about the money. I'm fortunate in that I work at a firm, worked, past tense, at a firm where the most important thing was being worthy of the trust that hundreds of thousands of people placed in us. When I managed money, I trusted in my understanding of market cycles and economics and history. And that enabled me to be brave when others were scared, and enabled me to be cautious when others were ebullient. Trust in my teammates to bring me accurate and good information, to bring me ideas. And trust in my instincts of the managements of companies I invested in. And it worked the other way. Sometimes my lack of trust in a management, sometimes of very esteemed companies, saved our investors a lot when those companies unraveled. Now, Taylor Taylor Stockdale and I have worked together on web type stuff for several decades. In that course, I think he's come to trust me and we've become good friends. And I think, like Taylor, I'm more from the heart than eloquent, but I think he chose me to speak to you today because he had a pretty strong suspicion that I would mention how being trustworthy and having trust will be important in your success. Now, when I graduated from Webb, I had, in truth, no idea what I wanted to do for a vocation. Most of my classmates were in the same boat, and I suspect a few of you might be. But when I was pressed on the issue by Mr. Iverson, oh my God, nice cat. When pressed, I said I wanted to be an oceanographer because there used to be a show called The Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau, who was a French explorer. He invented scuba gear. Anyway, it looked like a good life. Well, well-meaning people advised me if you want to be an oceanographer, you got to major in chemistry. So I did, and organic chemistry was really hard for me. Physics was worse. And physical chemistry was beyond the pale. I was miserable. And I didn't know what to do because I hadn't found my calling. I'd taken a few intro courses, but then I found salvation. I found Economics 101, Introduction to Price Theory. Sounds like a real snoozer. But for me, it was, wow, at last, I get it. It's something that makes total sense to me. And it influenced my view of history and of politics. And it sort of formed the basis of my worldview. And I was actually good at it. There aren't many things I am. And I'm not good at this. My takeaway from this is, hang in there until your epiphany will come. Wait for it. And when it comes, you'll know it and go with it. Follow your heart. When I was an investor, one of my strategies was to figure out what was going to be in short supply. When OPEC was formed, I invested in oil companies and oil service companies. In 2000, when the tech bubble was imploding, I saw how fast China was growing. And I figured out that they're going to have to import massive amounts of copper and iron ore and energy and grain. And so I bought every company I could, the shares of every company I could. I bought Australian companies, Canadian companies, American companies, all over. And it worked pretty well. By the time I retired, we were managing, or actually quite a bit before I retired, we were managing the country's biggest actively managed fund. Tens of thousands of people depended on me, and I sure didn't want them to let them down. So you might ask, well, that's great, but what's in short supply today? And the answer is easy. Trust. And you might go, is that even a thing anymore? With phishing and massive cyber attacks and, can trust exist? And I say, yes. Actually, when something becomes more scarce, it becomes more valuable. I can almost hear Thompson Webb, who was still here when I was here. He was from Tennessee, and he had a deep voice, and he talked kind of funny. And he would say, I think he would say to you, were he here, pardon me, I'm not good at this, boys, I'll beg you, above all else, be trustworthy. So let me tell you about 3 very successful men I've known for whom trust was a big part of their success. The first is Joe Colon. He was convinced that markets did everything wrong. And he set up Trader Joe to be a market that catered to the overeducated and underpaid who came about as a result of the GI Bill after the war. He made food shopping an adventure. He brought exotic foods, and Trader Joe came to be known for interesting, healthy, adventuresome foods at a fair price. Most supermarkets advertise in the newspaper, and they list a bunch of nationally advertised products and then the price, and they're really boring. I never look at them. You go into a Trader Joe, he's telling you the pedigree of the Fearless Flyer tells you about all the products that are new to the store, where they were sourced, how they came across them, the story, and that builds trust in the brand. So they don't sell anything that's nationally advertised. People believe and have trust in Trader Joe. And he also he believed in hiring really good people, paying them well, and empowering them. If you go into a Trader Joe and you say to one of they call them teammates, I believe, and you say, where are those shortbread cookies you advertised in the flyer? The person will probably put down whatever they're doing, walk with you to the shortbread cookies, and then offer to open the package if you'd like to try one. You say, no, that's not necessary. He'll say, well, if you get them home and you don't like them, bring them back, no questions asked. Trader Joe's done very well, and it was all based on trust. I met Morris Chang when he was an engineer at Texas Instruments. And he realized that building a fab for making a semiconductor plant was getting more and more expensive, billions of dollars, and only a few companies in the world could afford to do this. So he sort of invented the semiconductor foundry business. He did this in Taiwan, and now he produces, they have the only company in the world that is able to make the finest geometry semiconductors that empower. AI wouldn't be here if it weren't for TSMC. And they worked for years with Apple, which is perhaps the world's most secretive company. And then they worked together on this mysterious project, and Apple introduced the iPhone. And it caught the whole world by surprise. It still amazes me that a project like that could remain secret for so long. And I asked Dr. Chang when I last saw him what the secret to his success was. And he said, trust. Our customers absolutely know that we will not share their plans or their circuit designs with anyone. And we won't ever compete with our customers. Jack Ma was the hardest working person I've ever met. He and a small group of teammates were trying to create the Amazon and eBay of China. Created Alibaba, which had been about a year and a half in the making. At the time, Jerry Yang came. Jerry Yang at the time was sort of a rock star in the tech world. He was a co-founder, founder of Yahoo. He was sort of the father of search. And he was blown away by what he saw Jack Ma had done. And he made $1 billion investment in Alibaba at the time, which was unheard of. And he made this on Yahoo's behalf, I should point out. And anyway, there was much celebration at Alibaba that night, and Jack Ma called his team together. He said, "Tonight, we gained something much more important than money. We gained trust. Yahoo's endorsement of us says to the world, it's safe to buy stuff from Alibaba." And he was right. It's been a rocket ship ever since. Now you will be the first class to enter college armed with AI. I think it's going to be fantastic for you. I think it will be like going digital for me was pretty good, but for you, AI is going to be like going digital on steroids. Think about, Einstein said, imagination is much more important than knowledge, but knowledge is where it all begins. So you'll have all human knowledge at your fingertips. You'll have so much more time to learn more, to understand more deeply, and to exercise your imaginations. You'll be able to accomplish things your predecessors haven't dreamed of. And there's more good news. You'll be so efficient that you'll have more time for the fun stuff, for music, for sports, for making new friends. So let me close by turning back again to Jack Ma, because he's pretty awesome. In 2014, they went public and raised $40 billion, an unheard of amount. Jack and his associates became very wealthy. They partied that night. But then Jack called them and together, and he said to them, and apologies, I probably won't pronounce this right, but he said, "We didn't come all this way to be just another batch of Tuhao." Now, Tuhao, as I understand it, is Mandarin for nouveau riche, and it's kind of derogatory, like a guy who wins the lottery and blows it all on a super yacht. He said, "I hope we become a band of noble men, noble people, people who can help others, people who are kind, and people who are happy. That is my wish for you as well. I hope you are people who trust and are trusted, who are kind and who are happy." Good luck out there. I think you're off to a great start, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Jim, for that incredibly insightful address. And we have a small gift for you. On behalf of the class of 2023. There you are. Amazing. That's what unbounded thinking looks like right there. And now I'd like to turn the podium over to our Associate Head of Schools and Head-elect, Dr. Teresa Smith.
I was saying this morning that it's really not fair to follow the commencement speaker all the time. I might change that next year. Okay. When I was in high school, I had two friends who were obsessed with Richard Nixon. Yes, that Richard Nixon, the 37th President of the United States. Let me set the scene. It's the late 1980s, and we're on the debate team. My two friends are extreme preppies. They wear red power bow ties with finely pressed suits to debate tournaments, and they carry brown leather briefcases. So they're high school students with briefcases. It's the 80s. In their briefcases, they have pictures of Richard Nixon, little yellow cards with his picture and the slogan, "Nixon for President in '88. It didn't matter to them that Nixon had resigned in 1974, over a decade earlier, under threat of impeachment with the Watergate scandal. And after that scandal, many people considered him a disgrace. Countless Americans lost faith in their government and the Washington establishment. These were not my friends' concerns. To them, Nixon was the perfect candidate in the 1988 presidential election. And so it began. Before school, at lunch in the cafeteria, during debate practice, they would go on and on about why Nixon was so fantastic. And I found myself in a constant argument with them. I found myself in the position of defending my political champions in the face of their idol, Nixon. He founded the Environmental Protection Agency, you know. He signed Title IX, don't you care about girls and sports? He visited China, that's huge, they would remind me. Now, I'm sure to you graduates that sounds pretty dorky, and it was, but I learned a lot of valuable lessons from these seemingly ridiculous conversations. Over the course of the year, I sharpened my debate skills, and I learned to understand my views much more deeply. In having to defend my way of thinking, I'm forced to reflect on my beliefs and their similarities and differences from others. And at times, I even change my mind, and I end up having to admit that my friends are right about certain things, even though it's difficult to say that. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean I would have ever voted for a revived Nixon presidency, but it does mean that I came to understand the importance of engaging with ideas rather than dismissing them. And even initially absurd or uncomfortable ideas merit thought. I also developed a respect for my friends' passion. I mean, they knew everything about Nixon. And I learned that bringing curiosity rather than contempt is the way to understand difference, whether that be people or ideas. During your time here at Webb, we've tried to help you see the complexity around issues, to help you find your own beliefs through conversation in a diverse and vibrant community of learners. We've brought faculty, staff, and students from all over the world and from different walks of life. And we've pushed you to engage in conversation with depth and rigor and curiosity, with humor and care and empathy. And this has been intentional and purposeful. But in many ways, this practice feels contrary to the world today. In educational institutions across the country, many students seek the company of like-minded individuals. They seem daunted by open debate and discussion. Our culture prioritizes the knee-jerk like or tweet over substantial thought and discussion. When readers search for the news, they tend to tune in to networks, outlets, and blogs that reinforce their own beliefs. I'm profoundly worried about this polarization. I'm worried about its impact on education and innovation. I'm worried about the implications for our society. But as I look out at you, I'm also tremendously hopeful. I know your experience at Webb will always be with you as a reminder of the power of diverse thinking and the need to engage in real discourse. Through your time here, even with its complications, you've developed deeply valuable skills. I've seen your abilities to listen and be tolerant of others. I've seen you engage in respectful and curious discussions, and I've seen you value honor, trust, and community. So as you walk into the wider world, I'm calling on you to live these lessons out loud. Seek diversity, engage with curiosity, and value community, and walk into this world as leaders who bring people together. The light I see in each of your eyes is a beacon of hope for all of us. Thank you for shining it so brightly. It's now my great pleasure to introduce this year's valedictorian, a philosopher and scientist, a foodie and francophile, a wise and genuine soul. The WSC class of 2023 valedictorian is Pierre's son.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pierre's son, and what an incredible honor it is to be addressing the Webb School of California class of 2023 on this important day. First, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to those who made this graduation possible. Mr. Stockdale, Dr. Smith, Dean Dookie, Dean Lance, Dr. Lauer, all the staff and faculty, the trustees, and our ever-supportive parents. Thank you all for empowering us to dream and to grow over the past 4 years. A special recognition to Mr. Daler, who sadly is not with us today. As your student, I will always remember to not skip steps when doing math, and your story of having a previous student working at Uber who uses linear algebra in self-driving cars. You've told that story for too many times. I feel extremely lucky to be your closest neighbor, as I always get to try your food. The lemon tart with passion fruit glaze, the Cajun shrimp, the K-pop, the butter samosa with curry filling, and so many more. Mr. Daler, we are grateful to have you in our community, and we wish you to take your time to heal. Alas, Jonah and Isabella, you departed too soon. The campus misses the voices of you two, your passion, your kindness, and your ability to pull people together. Class of 23 will always have a place for you. Your memories live on and will forever remain in our heart. In the past few months, the rapid advancement in AI technology has struck the world. Many of us got excited by this. For those who had a chance to play with ChatGPT, it was quite amazing to see what AI could do. Writing in all kinds of forms, compiling data, and answering questions however random. But the reach of AI extends much further. Revolutionary fields from market predictions to pharmaceutical research to quantum computing, outcompeting the brightest human intellects in speed and precision. The sheer abilities of AI are transforming our society at a pace that feels breathless, to a point where we must ask ourselves, where is the future heading? Will we be replaced? Can we control AI, or will we be controlled? I find myself in Elon Musk's words that resonate now more than ever. Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. As far as being an incoming college student, I can only be worried as our society will inevitably head towards a direction that heavily prioritizes productivity and performance that is more and more indifferent to emotions. My own journey seems indicative of this daunting moment in history, where machines are taking over the human minds. For years, I lived under the weighty expectations set for being a Webb student and felt entrapped, striving to uphold the pragmatic vision for Generation Z. The pressure to be sociable, passionate, intellectual, well-rounded, and unique all at once was certainly overwhelming. I always yearned to be that perfect, stereotypical, strong, independent, mature, single child that would make my parents proud. To be that child, I often forced myself to set aside my natural sensitivities, to be hyper-focused on the plans to be made and the work to be done, which ultimately transformed me into a version of myself that is methodic, stoic, and empty. The innate feelings unique to my existence began to pale. This is oddly sad. I want to be as I am, not the way machines work. Hence, the last thing I want to see is for this to happen to more people. The question is, how do we stay true to our humanity in this rapidly changing world? What keeps us apart from the machines we create, those that are virtually better than us in every way possible, those that have the potential to replace us. I admit I am nowhere close to having a good answer others or just myself will be satisfied with. I suspect no one really does. But as I am writing this talk, reflecting upon my years at Webb, I find myself convinced that our past may have already hold the answers to these questions. When Jonah and Isabella passed away, AI was useless in giving us any answers about what to do. The world threw us more than it saw we could handle, yet we have the ability to experience and emphasize with emotions. I saw this in action when we all rallied support with each other following the loss. I'll never forget how our campus, usually teeming with laughter and chatter, descended into a quiet reverence in the wake of their loss. It wasn't an empty silence, but a soulful hush, a shared understanding that we needed to check in on each other, to be gentle and caring. Our school, usually a hive of academic pursuits and extracurricular activities, became a haven for healing. The strengths of our community binding us together. Tears fell freely, not hidden, but shared. Flowers and letters, tokens of our collective love and respect, began to appear. Crossroad became a canvas of chalk-drawn hearts, memories, and words of love. In those heart-wrenching moments, the strength of our connection was evident. It turns out that I need my natural sensitivities after all. And as much as I tried to get them out of me, they held on to what I needed the most. Moments of truthful and unrestricted expression of empathy. A machine can process information, but it cannot understand the profound sense of loss we felt or the genuine love that we held for our departed friends. We also answered the questions with our unique capacity for creativity and imagination. In our class, we have artists, actors, musicians, athletes, scientists, leaders, and incredible individuals indulging in their niche interests. Some of us wield brushes like pens, others speak through music. Our minds jumps between roasting the whole pig on campus to dyeing our beloved teacher's hair pink. We are thoughtful enough to talk about history and politics in Harkness. We are silly enough to run around campus like zombies to catch Pokemons. We are proud of being a vibrant class that is fearless to manifest our true self. Class of 23 has made a lasting impression on this campus, and I know that the discussion about the peculiarity of us will continue long after our departure. A machine can replicate patterns it has been trained on, but it cannot create or appreciate the beauty that comes from our hearts and minds. Our capacity for empathy and creativity is only part of the answer. All the memories we've made points us to the rest. I remember the scene where we huddled together in a wooden cabin during freshman year retreat, holding plates and forks eagerly awaiting to be fed by whichever advisory group was on kitchen duty through a small, welcoming window. The delightful chats, pleasant smiles, and enthusiastic nodding of heads. Who would have thought that those colloquial conversations would turn into years of friendship? Who would have forgotten that sudden, consequential all-school meetings in March later that year, the day we all plodded to Luchun halfway through B Block, only to receive the news that Webb was closing down. We were cheering back then, remember? Dancing, jumping, and screaming in halt for the cancel of school. We were wrong. The online year was depressing. Sitting alone in front of a computer and meditating in class, I was constantly urged to make the most out of my junior and senior year. I tried, and words cannot express how much fun I had. Every sport practice, every game, every WSC assembly competition, every new conversation I've started, they become my dearest treasures. As I look to the years ahead of me, with all the stress and pressure that might build up, I know I will chew back on those amusing shenanigans and start giggling once more. A machine can sift through historical data, but it cannot truly taste the joy, laughter, and the beauty of past moments that shape our high school journey. Through these shared moments together, I believe we have stayed true to our humanity and showed how it could be done. We not only lived these experiences, but also evolved with them to who we are today. It's in these memories that we have embodied traits that cannot be mimicked by even the most advanced artificial intelligence, traits that truly make us human. Today, we gather on the Alamo lawn to celebrate our journey far from the perfect voyage we envisioned. It was tough, filled with trials and deep losses, but we made it. From now on, as Webb alumni, we are often told we leave brimming with knowledge and academic prowess, ready to leave our mark in this world. But we know better. We know that in the hush that fell over our campus at hard moments, in the flowers and chalk-drawn hearts, we found a strength in our love for one another that is far greater than any machine can fathom. Never stop dreaming, the creative class of 23. The world may not love our capricious whim, but the last 4 years taught us how much it needs it. Follow your heart and let imagination define the boundaries of possibilities. Your creativity and compassion, highlighted throughout your times here, will empower you to tackle some of the world's thorniest social, environmental, and health problems with sincere passion and justice. As the 101st graduating class, we are starting a new chapter. Ahead of us is nothing of an easy journey. It is an undeniable fact that our world runs on the basis of technology more than ever. With recent advancements in AI models and its growing capability to outcompete humans in virtually all tasks, it is important to understand the role of us in a world soon to be dominated by AI. We must not surrender the identities of humans to machines and must hold on to the unique characters that make us the way we are. We, as emotional beings, live in a world that strictly follows the laws of physics. We need to believe that. We are here to add doses of humanistic humility to the absolute rationality. We are here to put moral checks and balances to the fast-paced pragmatism. This task is not just your, nor mine, nor our classes, but our generation's collective duty. Remember, we humans are irreplaceable. You are the ones to illuminate a future. You carry the torch of hope and promise. You possess the gavel of consciousness and judgment. Class of 23, as we set foot into the unknown, go forth with pride, compassion, and dreams. May your future be filled with love and success. Congratulations, class of 2023. We did it.
Wasn't that just extraordinary? That's an amazing talk. Thank you so much, Pierre. Wow. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the Webb School of California 2023 class president, Daniel Hu.
Four years ago, at convocation, our class was introduced by Dr. Jamila Everett in a way that went something like this. In the class of 2023, we admitted a self-proclaimed British rapper, a six-figure ice cream business owner, a kid who read 10,000 books, and a goalkeeper from a top Chinese soccer club. To be honest, if my memory of Webb only started this year, I would think that this is all fake news. These incredible individuals mentioned are not the down-to-earth brothers I've come to know. Since arriving at Webb, we've all changed a lot. Most of us have grown taller and stronger, and we all have matured intellectually as scholars. And it just seems that those incredible achievements that initially brought us together are now nothing more than some fleeting memories of a distant past. Frankly, despite being ever closer to graduating, our recent Grand Canyon trip brought me back in time and made me feel like a freshman again. We stood in a circle, passing around a football, and talked for so long. It felt as if we were playing icebreakers and just getting to know each other. But instead of sharing our hopes and aspirations for the next 4 years, we reminisced about the memories we created over the vanishing high school years, taking a journey down our distinct yet shared memory lanes. We talked about how we've grown, how we've changed, and how we are no longer the socially awkward, self-hating, scared freshmen we once were. The recognition of our transformations is incredible and exemplifies what the Webb experience can do for us all. And being part of such a vibrant, diverse, collegial community, we were introduced to new perspectives. We met lifelong friends, experienced the world through a myriad of cultures, and in doing so, we now ultimately see ourselves in a new light. On behalf of our class, the class of 2023, we present our class gift in the form of a donation to the Webb Fund Fund. The Webb Fund Fund provides financial aid to many Webb-sponsored activities that constitute a significant part of the Webb experience. In donating to the Fund Fund, we hope all Webbies and Webbies in the future may have the same opportunity to grow as our class has had, thanks to those who came before us. I've always firmly believed that a community becomes great when its leaders are willing to plant trees whose shade they may never sit in. Thus, as a class, this is our way of planting that tree. 53 years ago, Ray Alf conquered the Grand Canyon for the 50th time in his life. It was then that the seniors of the class of 1970 presented him with a rock hammer painted in gold. Today, our class would like to present our own rock hammer to a faculty member who has cared for and strengthened our brotherhood. As our class first entered Webb in the fall of 2019, this faculty member also began a new chapter by taking on the responsibilities of the Dean of Students. With a towering stature but an even bigger heart, Mr. Dookie has always been there when our class needed him the most. You can always expect a warm greeting from him whenever you see him around campus. But that doesn't mean you should ever leave your back to Mr. Dookie, because you never know what trick he's gonna pull out of his sleeve. Today, he'll be graduating with us all as we all embark on a new voyage in our lives. On the behalf of the class of 2023, it is our honor to dedicate the rock hammer to Mr. Dookie, the man who encouraged us to test our limits, inspiring all of us to get out the Grand Canyon despite our failing quads, calves, hamstrings, or any other leg muscle you can name, while not leaving anyone behind. Mr. Dookie, it is my honor. On a side note, our class didn't think there was a better candidate to dedicate the rock hammer to than the founder of Hammer Jerky himself. Okay, my fellow classmates, it has been a pleasure serving as your class president for the past 3 years. And it's been an absolute honor to be part of this amazing brotherhood and witness all of us grow into the young men that we are today. But growth is not always about abandoning who we once were. We are still the incredible individuals Dr. Everett so proudly introduced to the rest of the community 4 years ago. Sorry. While we may no longer see each other by the achievements we had put on our applications to Webb, we have never lost our essence. We are what we once were, and then some. Believe it or not, we graduate today. This could be the last time I see many of you for quite a while, and for others, maybe forever. But that doesn't mean our stories and brotherhood end today, because what we have once enjoyed, we can never lose. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. Graduation doesn't mark an end to our Webb careers. Graduating only means we now have the chance to put all that we have learned in the past 4 years to the test in college and beyond. Our stories are only just starting, but it's time to show the world what we're made of. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I would like to ask Mr. Michael Zaney, our Dean of Faculty, to please join me to present the teaching awards. Give it up for Mr. Zaney.
Before we begin with the teaching awards, there's another special recognition. So I invite Dr. Teresa Smith and Mr. Sanjay Dalakia to the podium.
On this special day, we want to take a moment to recognize the 35 years of contributions that Mr. Taylor Stockdale has made to the Webb community. Yeah, you can clap. From his early days as an economics teacher to his last 12 years as head of schools, Taylor's commitment to Webb's mission and values has been unwavering. As head of schools, Mr. Stockdale accomplished a lot, pioneering the Centennial Strategic Plan, building Webb's endowment, transforming significant portions of our campus, leading the acquisition of land that doubled our footprint, guiding our campus community through COVID, and the list goes on. In all of it, Mr. Stockdale has centered the student experience, ensuring that all 400 plus Webbies feel challenged, guided, and at home. As a boarding school graduate himself, Mr. Stockdale understands the importance of a pizza night with trivia and a good game of cornhole or ping pong. I think he's pretty good, too, at ping pong. And that traditions like community dinner, chapel, and even the slow clap help us build connections and grow together. And every student knows, because of Mr. Stockdale, that without there can be no and without there can be no community. Sorry, I helped you with that.
Class of 23, how does it feel to have Taylor Stockdale graduating with you also? I hear he's got a mean football arm. What do you think? No? All right. As Teresa mentioned, Taylor has indeed accomplished a lot. Campus footprint has doubled during his decade as head here. The size of our endowment at Webb has doubled during his tenure. The number of applications of people wanting to be Webbies just like you has doubled during his tenure. But Taylor's superpower transcends all of these operating metrics and execution ideas. His superpower has always been his ability to create community and connection. So this spring, in recognition of our 6th head of schools for his years of leadership and devotion to the values of community life, the Board of Trustees renamed the beautiful building at the base of our campus the Taylor B. Stockdale Community Center. We also established the Taylor and Ann Stockdale Fund for Community Life to honor this dynamic duo and the 35 years together on this campus and all that you've done for Webb. But wait, there's more. And it's not Cutco knives. Today, we present Mr. Stockdale with this framed photo taken of Mr. and Mrs. Stockdale and the student body in front of the Taylor B. Stockdale Community Center. Taylor, this building stands as a testament to your incredible impact here at Webb. Thank you. Stand out here. Please join me all one more time. Class of 23, families, extending our heartfelt appreciation to this extraordinary man and his leadership.
Thank you so much. Of course, it's been the absolute joy of a lifetime to be a part of this place. Now let's move on, because you are what this ceremony are all about. So we're going to go ahead and begin with the teacher awards again. This morning we recognize 2 teachers for their exemplary service to Webb by honoring them with the James T. Demetriadis Prize for Unbounded Teaching and the Jean E. Miller Excellence in Teaching Award. I'd like to ask Sonsoles Cardiaguet and Melanie Bauman to please stand and be recognized for winning these awards. And we also had the inaugural John and Madeline Frampton Staff Celebration Award, which was given to Andy Wong. Let's give it up for Andy Wong. Yeah. It is now time to announce the winners of the Lawrence McMillan Excellence in Teaching Award and the Thompson and Vivian Webb Excellence in Teaching Award. The Lawrence McMillan Excellence in Teaching Award was established by David Liu, class of '79, to honor his beloved Webb teacher and for the purpose of providing faculty members in their first 3 to 5 years of teaching with resources to cultivate their skills and to strengthen their affiliation with the Webb schools. Once again, I'd like to ask our Dean of Faculty, Mr. Michael Zaney, to please come forward to announce the McMillan Award. Mr. Zaney.
Would Eric Hansen please rise? With his shades on and hair tied back, you might often see Mr. Hansen taking in the sights and sounds as he strolls through campus. Mr. Hansen has quickly become known as a true Renaissance individual. From his paintings to his chapel introductions, his exceptional dedication and diverse talents have earned him admiration. In the classroom, Mr. Hansen has nurtured minds, instilling a deep appreciation for literature, philosophy, writing, poetry, the arts. His insightful, engaging, and supportive teaching style ignites intellectual curiosity in his students, fostering an authentic love for learning. But Mr. Hansen's contributions don't stop in the classroom. In 4 short years, Mr. Hansen has transformed our wrestling program by helping his athletes develop into disciplined, resilient competitors. Mr. Hansen's commitment to the sport goes beyond victories and trophies as he prioritizes instilling values of sportsmanship and camaraderie in the team, creating a supportive and truly inclusive environment where each member thrives. As a scholar, Mr. Hansen has been accepted into the prestigious Orion Magazine Environmental Writers Workshop this summer, and we're excited for him to continue his learning and bring what he learns back to Webb. Additionally, we're thrilled that Mr. Hansen will serve as the WSC Honor Committee Faculty Advisor next year, and we hope that this award will enable him to explore restorative justice trainings and workshops as he helps us to think about the role of honor at Webb. In recognition of his unwavering commitment and his positive impact on the Webb community, this year's McMillan Excellence in Teaching Award goes to Mr. Eric Hansen.
We had the occasion to ride together to the Flagstaff just a couple of days ago, and it was a real pleasure to get to know Eric at a whole different level. Wonderful. Okay, on to the Thompson and Vivian Webb Award. The Thompson and Vivian Webb Award was established and endowed by Dr. Edmund Piper, Webb School of California, class of '43, to honor Thompson and Vivian Webb, and it is given to a teacher who has made an outstanding impact on the Webb schools in service of 3 years or less. The recipient is determined by a preferential ballot among teachers, parents, students, and the award includes a stipend for the recipient's use in professional growth activities. Once again, Mr. Michael Zaney, our Dean of Faculty, will announce the winner of the Thompson and Vivian Webb Award.
Would Kenny Nguyen please rise? Walking through campus, you might be lucky enough to hear a hearty, "Hello, friends." In just one short year, Dr. Nguyen has instantaneously brought our community joy since his very first day on campus. If you've seen Dr. Nguyen interacting with different folks on campus, you'd have no idea that he's only been at Webb for such a short time, as his impact on our community has been incredible and indelible. He's quickly become a trusted advisor and teacher, someone that students in Jameson look forward to seeing every Sunday evening for duty, an all-around champion during math labs helping students with any and all levels of math, a crucial leader on the yearbook staff, and a key mentor for our AAPI affinity spaces who encourages students to explore their identities and share their stories with the community. Dr. Nguyen epitomizes the spirit of Webb, stepping in to help support his colleagues whenever they need it, spending quality time with students to ensure that they feel confident in their math abilities before taking their assessments, and always showing up to contribute his enthusiasm and energy to our campus events and happenings. Dr. Nguyen's reach is far and wide, and he works to ensure that he is fostering an inclusive space wherever he is on campus. We've been so lucky to have Dr. Nguyen as part of our community this year, and we're so excited that he will serve as the interim mathematics and computer science department chair next year. For his deep commitment to the Webb community and the extraordinary impact that he has been able to make in such a short period of time, this year's Thompson and Vivian Webb Award goes to Dr. Kenny Nguyen.
All right. Okay, before we move on to the final portion of our program, there was one more person I'd like to recognize, and he made me promise I wouldn't do this, but I'm only going to be his boss for a few more days, so I figure I can do it now. If I were to describe this person in one word, it would be Lincoln-esque. Since Rick Dukey joined our community, he has been all in. Rick joined the Webb Schools in 2000 and began teaching English and serving as the athletic director. His presence, infectious sense of humor, and incomparable school spirit quickly became a staple on our campus. During his 23 years at Webb, he has held a variety of positions, including director of the summer athletic programs, dean of students for the summer programs, dean of campus life, and finally, dean of Webb School of California. In every one of those roles, he put his entire heart and soul into. I had the wonderful occasion of watching Rick one summer with a group of kids. And in fact, my kid was one of them. Young kids. And he's magic in what he does with students. When Rick joined Webb's faculty in 2000, he brought with him his wife, Cindy, who served as Webb's attendance coordinator for many years, and their two children, daughter Tristan, Vivian Webb class of 2014, and son RJ, Webb School of California, 2017. Rick, you inspire and bring joy in everyone you encounter. As you head off to bring sunshine to another community, know you will always have a home here at 1175 West Baseline Road. Please join me in thanking a true Principe for all he has done for Webb, Mr. Rick Dukey. think he's mad at me. Okay, before we begin with the business at hand, the diplomas, and your graduation, I wanted to make a special tribute. We are all very excited today, and also we are missing, of course, one beloved member of your class, Jonah Canty. Before we celebrate you on the stage, I'd like to issue a special Webb School of California diploma and a copy of the Schoolmaker to someone who will always be a part of this school and always be a member of the mighty class of 2023. Let's please give a round of warm applause for Mr. Jonah Canty, right here. Thank you. Okay, before I shake your hand and send you on your way, just a few words. Usually at this moment in time, I issue your diplomas. We sing the farewell song. We say our goodbyes. I walk up the hill to my home for a late dinner. And as I reflect on the day and the year that just closed, my mind can't help but wonder about what's next. Some final faculty meetings, a year-end faculty staff party, some rest in July, and then back at it in August. Faculty meetings, orientation, opening days, and it all starts up again. This year, of course, it won't be that way. I am in your shoes, heading off to a new phase of life, exciting possibilities, and the great unknown. In this way, I will always feel like a member of the class of 23. And as you head out, I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being you, for showing me what inner strength and resilience looks like, for reminding me that the power of community is so much more than friendships and mottos. It is the glue that holds us together in times of good and bad. Pierre described it beautifully. It is the stuff that makes us laugh and cry and mourn, jump for joy. I usually tell classes at this ceremony in different ways that I hope you have attained a certain inner strength to deal with some of life's toughest challenges. But here's the thing. You, class of 2023, have already done this. You have already proven you have what it takes to overcome, or at least to cope with life's toughest challenges. I couldn't be more proud to have your class be my final class at Webb. I thank you for upholding our values, for your passion and commitment to our mission, and for your friendships and for making Webb a better place than how you found it 4 years ago. I thank you personally, and I thank you as your head of schools. Without honor, there can be no trust, and without trust, there can be no community. Honor, trust, and community to the end. Congratulations, class of 2023. And now I would like to ask Mr. Rick Dukey, Webb School of California Dean, and Dr. Mark Lauer, Lead Class Advisor, to assist me with presenting the diplomas. Here we go.
Before I begin, I just need to delete Taylor's contact in my phone. Webb School of California, class of 2023. Let's do this. Please rise. Mick Atkins. Taejun An. Alfonso Alvarez Sierra. Yes, sir. Jacob Arias. Jeffrey Beck. George Cardenas. Sam Cardenas. Ian Chang. Garrett Cordova Caddis. Andy Fu. Mexum Graham. Etienne Griffin. Aiden Helgeson. Sebastian Hoffman. Daniel Hu. Zihan Hansen, who? Yep. Stanley Jian. Leonid Levitin Shulman. It's got something important in there, buddy. Nathan Liu. Good. Teddy Meng. Yo-Yo Meng. Jack Luca Messina. Isaac Robinson Naren. Viraj Nigam. Ochuro Paul Ochuro. Brian Oglesby. That's mine. William Connor Plunkett. Conrad Chin Ling Poon. Austin Ra. Chance Rebish. Siddhartha Sinha. Ken Siramantaporn. Jordan Sun. Pierre Sun. Ben Tien Nern. Ryan Walker. Zachary Wang. Ryan Wygan. Richard Wu. Terrence Wu. Aiden Young. Samuel Zaiden. Jack Zhu.
We practice. All right, let's give it up for the class of 2023. Whoa! Okay, graduates, please rise. Please rise. Now the time has come for us to join together to close a memorable year in the life of Webb School of California by singing our farewell song. The words are those of Ramsey Harris, who was a good Webb man, and they will serve as the apt and eloquent conclusion of this ceremony and a valedictory for Webb School of California, class of 2023. When we are through singing, we are indeed through. You may then come forward and congratulate the graduates. So finally, let us rise and sing farewell.